This is a game changer because astronomers have hit the jackpot. This is their dream come true. A new chapter in astronomy has opened up. The James Webb Space Telescope just sent back something that shocked me. Proxima b, the closest Earth-like planet to us, might not be lifeless after all. New images show heat signatures, symmetrical patterns, and something that looks like it's watching. Is this a glitch, or are we looking at the first real evidence of alien life? Nobody expected this. The James Webb Space Telescope had just returned a fresh batch of deep space images. Scientists were expecting more of the usual distant galaxies, maybe some scattered dust clouds, a few blurry exoplanets, but then Proxima b appeared. The closest Earth-like planet outside our solar system suddenly revealed itself in shocking clarity. No more low-resolution pixels. This was different. Right in the twilight zone of the planet, the narrow strip between eternal day and eternal night, something was glowing. At first glance, it looked like surface heat, until they realized where it was coming from, a region that should have been frozen solid. Then came the lines, symmetrical, straight, and precise. Nature doesn't draw that way. Some patterns reflected light almost like polished surfaces. Others emitted heat at regular intervals. Didn't take long for speculation to ignite. Online forums exploded. Scientists used phrases like non-natural formation and technosignature candidate. Reddit went even further. This isn't a planet. It's a message, one user wrote. And while most officials remained silent, a few voices in its scientific community like Michio Kaku didn't hide their reaction. They were stunned because what JWST found on Proxima b wasn't just unexpected. It was something we weren't ready for. Before we dive into what's been found on Proxima b, let's take a moment to understand what it is and why this tiny world has scientists losing sleep. It all started with a wobble. In 2013, astronomers noticed something odd. Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our sun, was shaking ever so slightly. That wobble wasn't random. Something was tugging at it, something invisible. After years of measurements, the answer became clear: a planet. In 2016, Proxima b was officially confirmed. And it immediately turned heads. Why? Because it was close, unbelievably close. Just 4.2 light-years away. That's around 40 trillion kilometers. But in space terms, practically our galactic backyard. Distance wasn't the only thing that made it special. Proxima b was about 1.3 times the mass of Earth. Not too big, not too small, a rocky planet. And most importantly, it orbits in the habitable zone of its star, that narrow range where liquid water could, in theory, exist. But here's the catch. Unlike Earth, Proxima b orbits extremely close to its star, only about 7 million kilometers away. That's 20 times closer than Earth is to the Sun. Its year lasts just 11.2 Earth days. That's how fast it whips around Proxima Centauri. So, how could it possibly be habitable? Here's where things get strange. Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf star, much smaller, dimmer, and cooler than our Sun. So even though the planet is right up next to it, the light it receives is just enough. That delicate balance makes it what scientists call a Goldilocks planet. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. At least on paper. But the closer we look, the more Proxima b seems to defy the rules. It might be tidally locked, meaning one side is always in daylight and the other side trapped in endless night. It's a planet of extremes. One half scorched by radiation, the other frozen solid. And right in between, a thin strip called the Terminator line, or as some now call it, the Twilight Zone. That's where life could survive. If life ever existed or still exists on Proxima b, it would almost certainly be living in that narrow ring. But here's the real question. What kind of life could survive in such a brutal place? And is that what we're seeing now? Every planet lives and dies by its star, and Proxima b orbits a ticking time bomb. Its star, Proxima Centauri, may be small, but it's nothing like our sun dot. It's what's known as a red dwarf star, cooler, dimmer, and far more unpredictable. On the surface, red dwarfs seem harmless. They burn at lower temperatures. They glow faintly. And because they're so stable over billions of years, many scientists once thought they'd be perfect homes for life-bearing planets. But Proxima Centauri is proving them wrong. Despite its size, this star is a beast. Instead of having stable nuclear fusion deep inside like our sun, red dwarfs ignite right at the surface, and that makes them violently unstable. Proxima Centauri regularly unleashes solar flares, massive eruptions of radiation and charged particles that can span hundreds of thousands of kilometers. One flare in 2021 was so powerful it stunned astronomers. It was 100 times stronger than any solar flare our sun has ever recorded. Now, imagine you're a planet just 7 million kilometers away. That's Proxima b's reality. If Earth were that close to our sun, the surface would be scorched, stripped of atmosphere, and sterilized in a matter of hours. Proxima b lives in that blast zone every single day. This means that if anything is alive there, it's not just surviving, it's enduring hell. Solar flares don't just bring heat, they carry high-energy radiation that can rip molecules apart. They also bring solar wind, streams of particles that can slowly erode an atmosphere like sandpaper over thousands of years. Earth has a magnetic field that protects us, but Proxima b? We don't know. If it doesn't have a strong magnetic shield, those flares would strip away its air, boil off its water, and leave it little more than a cosmic husk. And yet something is still reacting on that planet. Fluid signatures, shifting patterns, chemical changes in its atmosphere. It's like the planet is responding to the storm, adapting to it, which raises a much bigger question. What kind of life could survive in a place where the sun itself wants you dead? And if something does live there, has it found a way to use that chaos to its advantage? Because the next part of the planet, the one James Webb focused on, is where things get even stranger. Proxima b is a world of extremes because it's tidally locked. One side always faces its star, endlessly scorched by radiation and solar flares. The other side, permanent night, frozen, dead, silent. No sunrises, no sunsets. Just two hemispheres. One burning, one frozen. But right in between lies something very different. A narrow band where night meets day. A line of eternal dusk. Scientists call it the Terminator line, but others have started calling it something more evocative, the Twilight Zone. And it's here, within this dimly lit strip, that something strange is happening. When the James Webb Space Telescope zoomed in, it didn't just find terrain. It found patterns, lines that crisscrossed the surface. Not random, but ordered. Some shaped like arcs, others like rings. One formation, perfectly centered in the habitable zone, looks unnatural. They're calling it the Eye of B, a circular pattern too precise to be a crater, too symmetrical to be coincidence. But here's where it gets weird. That eye, it's not static. Across multiple images taken on different days, it shifts slightly. Not a lighting trick, not a shadow something on or near the surface is moving. And that's not all. Infrared sensors picked up heat signatures pulsing from that exact region. They appear, fade, reappear at consistent intervals. It's almost like something is regulating energy, like a system or an organism. The Twilight Zone is also the only place on the planet where temperatures are potentially stable enough for liquid water. That makes it the most likely place for life. But what kind of life could survive in a world of endless dusk? Think about it. No daylight, no night. Just constant, permanent twilight. The star never moves. It just hovers on the horizon like a red ghost, What would it feel like to live there? One NASA researcher described it this way. Imagine standing in a place where the sun never rises and never sets. Just a faint reddish glow, forever stuck between day and night. That's the entire world of Proxima B's habitable ring. But if that twilight strip is home to life, then it's not just surviving, it might be watching. Because what James Webb saw next didn't look natural at all. Nature is beautiful, but it's rarely perfect. Rocks break unevenly. Mountains form in chaotic ways. Craters, valleys, canyons, they follow randomness, jagged edges, asymmetry. But on Proxima B, that's not what we're seeing. The high-resolution images captured by the James Webb Space Telescope show something different. Lines, angles, geometry. Some of these formations stretch for dozens, possibly hundreds of miles. Some are parallel, others intersect with sharp precision. They follow patterns. One formation in particular has stunned researchers.